Hello, happy Sunday. I hear all kinds of stories from clients, and I hear fears from clients and other people too, not just clients, about the CRA, about how it's their number one fear about taxes, and their number one fear in business is that the CRA will, it's the CRA. I'm not sure, like, every person has a different idea of what they think the CRA is going to do, but it's usually some form of they're going to take everything from me and I'm not going to know that it's happening and there's going to be nothing that I can do about it. And we've definitely heard stories about agents who have been borderline harassment, maybe even harassing people. They've threatened to send people to jail and take everything from them if they don't comply with what they're saying. But that's not very common. Most agents that I talk to are quite nice, neutral about what's going on in the file. They don't have any emotional investment. And a lot of the people that are answering phones are usually very neutral about what's going on. They're just doing their job, answering the phone. And the people that I've talked to in collections or in reviews or the other departments, I think they're higher up in the CRA, but I'm not totally sure. They do different things. They're not in the call center. They're doing, collections and reviews and other pieces of handling tax and the administration of tax, but not answering phones. These people are usually excellent to deal with. I had a client one time who was 10 years behind in filing taxes, and they had come to me and they'd asked me to help. But the reason that they were 10 years behind is that they had been injured, they had a head injury, and so they were on disability and they weren't able to function the way that they used to. And so they just weren't able to do their taxes. And so they came to me and they asked for help. And it was a long process in getting the paperwork together with them just because of this injury that they had sustained. And so I called the agent that was responsible for their file, explained what had happened, explained that I was an accountant, that I was working on it, but that the deadline that I had received, or that they had received, which was a week from the day I was calling, was just not going to be doable. And here's why. And the agent was excellent. She said, thank you so much for calling. I'm glad that this is getting dealt with. I can absolutely extend your deadline for you. How much time do you need, basically? And so, she was very, very easy to work with. And that's just one example of agents that I have spoken to that are very nice and compassionate, and they want to help. I've had agents on the phone with me just explaining the history of a file and what's going on, because maybe sometimes the client can't. They can't because they don't know necessarily what's been going on from the CRA's perspective, and they don't know how to fix it. And so just chatting, I've chatted with some agents for 30, 60 minutes, and they've been very patient, answered all my questions, and really done all that they could to help the client and just to make the situation as easy as possible. So yes, there are stories that we hear about the CRA and the agents that work there that are not very nice, but for the most part, the agents that are working to serve the public are very good. And they really do want to help, and they really do want the situation to be resolved. They don't just want to, get that person in trouble or pass it up the line or whatever happens next, whatever the specific situation calls for. So I would love to hear your CRA stories, whether they're good or bad or indifferent. Tell me about it. What was the most interesting story? Maybe interesting is a bad word, but what's your best CRA story? Let me know in the comments. And I'd love to swap stories with you. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you tomorrow.